Okay. Well, a case study where everything is fantastic is a deal that we did last year. It's just such a perfect example. So there's this infill lot. So an infill lot, obviously everyone knows what that means. It's a street, 35 houses, one empty lot, ready to be filled in with a house, right? That's why they're called infill lots. So there's an infill lot in a part of Phoenix, Arizona that I live in, where we send out some letters in that area. Owners called us back. We made some offers. One guy accepted this multifamily zoned lot. Now it's a small lot. You can put like a fourplex on it, but or 4 to 6 units. He accepted our offer for $5,000 on that property. And there used to be a house on there. It burned down. There's nothing fun, nothing. There's no environmental issues. We checked all of that. So we actually bought that property. So we used our own money to buy this property for $5,000. It's not a big deal. I figured, hey, $5,000, what the heck? So then we immediately.
Let's talk about that for a minute. The house burned down. They probably already collected all the insurance money that they were due, and now they got this lot in their name that has a slab and and it's black because from the smoke. And so they said, they don't care. They got paid. They got paid by the insurance company. Exactly. So they said, give me $5,000. It's yours, right?
Right, exactly. So we bought this property for $5,000. Then we put it up on the market, and we literally put it on like Zillow and Facebook Marketplace. 2 completely free resources, right? So anyone that owns a property or has it on a contract can put it on Zillow, and you can put it on Marketplace. Our contract that we have with our sellers, even if you don't own it yet, gives you the right to remarket the property. So therefore we marketed the property. It took less than 2 weeks. Somebody offered us $67,000 for that property and gave us $6,500 as a down payment. So now, basically, we carried back a note, the seller financing deal, something you're very familiar with, right? Because sell lots of houses, seller financing. We have a seller financing note for $60,500. Let's call it $60,000. And we got more than our $5,000 that we paid for the property as a down payment. So within 2 weeks, we paid $5,000, we got $6,500 back. We're in the hole. We're safe, right? We got, even including closing costs, we're like $500 ahead of the game right now. Right? So now we sign them with a contract for deed. So it doesn't even have to go on the sales site. It doesn't even have to go to title companies. So we just have them sign a contract for deed that they make in monthly payments. And now they're paying us like they needed a low payment. So we agreed to a low payment of, I think, $430 a month for the next 20 years. So we agreed to a 20-year note. The profit on that property is going to be $111,000. Over the next 20 years, $111,000 or $120,000. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but
good enough though. Good enough.
We took a deal for $5,000, got our money back almost instantly, and now we're making $120,000 off that property in the next 20 years. And the nicest part about it, because it's seller financing and because it's a piece of land, they're not even destroying the property. If anything, they're improving the property. Right? Because if they start building a sixplex on there, something, chances are we're going to get bought out by the lender at that point. But if they buy it with their own money and they build it and they default anytime, we get now the property with a sixplex on it. Or if they do nothing and they default down the road, so what? Then we just foreclose on it, which in certain states on a contract for deed, you can foreclose in 3 weeks and it costs $50. And then we get the property back, and now we resell it for another $67,000. But the bottom line is they're not destroying anything. They're not stealing anything because it's just land. It's the purest way of cash flow.
I hope you're enjoying this interview with Jack BOSCH. I certainly had a good time interviewing him. Jack BOSCH is a wealth of knowledge, and I hope you're getting some stuff out of this. If you ever want to know the art of virtual flipping land and how to seller finance land, be sure to check Jack BOSCH out. All right, before we continue with this interview with Jack BOSCH, please take a look at that like button, that share button, and that subscribe button. Go ahead and mash on all 3 of them, and then we'll get right back with Jack BOSCH.